Welcome to episode 8 of What You Got Growing On. I'll tell you what I got growing on. In episode 7, we planted the majestic and hardy sable palm. We also harvested the berries, the ripened berries of the croton, a very beautiful type of croton, and we planted those berries. And in this episode, we're going to stick with the croton, but we're going to take cuttings from a few different varieties, and plant them and see what happens. All right, let's get started. Thanks for watching. Eat Your Backyard. Why not subscribe right now? Okay, here we go. This is a very common croton. Get this at any department store in Florida for sure. All right, links in the description if you want to pick up one. They're very easy to get online. That's how I would do it. All right, let's see. Look at those purple, beautiful colors. Now, where to take the cutting from is always the question. Where? Well, here's the line of this coquina rock wall that I've constructed here. And typically, we don't want things to hang out too far, right? Because we're not trying to lose the wall in the shrub. So sometimes we use these opportunities to take cuttings to just go ahead and fix the geometry of the situation here. Oh God, can you believe that color? Just look at that. I always get in these moments with these crotons. I love this bush so damn much. There's so many varieties of them, and it's so cool. Even the most basic, common one like this one is extraordinary. Look at this rich color in here. How could you not have this in your yard if you have any ability to have it at all? I mean, there's reasons why you could not have it that are legitimate, believe me. Okay, let's see. I want to get a woody cutting. This one is tempting me. It's tempting me, but it's some way I think like it'll just make too much of a hole there. That whole thing gone. But oh, there's two. Aha. There's two. Still it hangs out, but not as much. Okay, we're going for it. You know, life's short. Let's make a decision and live with the consequences. Can't stop now. Can't go back. Look at that big hole. No, it's fine. I'm just joking. All right, let's see what else here. It's kind of snuggled up in this bush here, in this Dracaena. Beautiful Dracaena. By the way, we did 5 varieties of Dracaena that are growing over there too. And when we take these cuttings over, we'll take a look at those too. Sometimes the interior shrub growth is good to take, but I kind of like to let those go as much as possible because if I have to trim it way back, that's going to be what grows back up. So I like to have a healthy interior if possible. Almost better to just keep trimming the things out front, but what you never want to get into with the shrub is where the top of the shrub comes out like this, you know, because now you're shading, you're creating a tree effect, and that kind of naturally decreases the growth on the bottom and encourages it to look like a tree and have branchy growth down here. We don't want that. We want it to be kind of curved, preferably like this. All right, so this one's already on a bad trend. It's kind of leaning out. Okay, so a little shrub 101 too. Get it? 101 too? All right. Here it is. Calling my name. Where is it? I just feel, you know, at some point I feel like, I don't want to trim my baby because I love it. But I'm trimming this one. But I'm going to leave a little bit of branch here, and that's because I want to leave a little opportunity for it to make some shoots there. Oh. Okay, that's a good one. That's a good one. We'll never miss that one. These are pretty big cuttings. I think I'm just going to go with 2 and cross my fingers on this variety. Okay. Well, that certainly is impressive. Hard to say anything but that. Okay, so that's one variety. Now let's go and get another variety. See, I had this one also here, like a $5 or $10 plant when I got a tiny little thing, just planted it and still. That's exactly the same variety as I just cut. Now this one is great, but it's kind of papaya leaf, lay on everything. It's kind of not thriving in this shady area. It's beneath this very tall Hawaiian papaya tree, which is getting buffeted by onshore breezes right now. It just got tore up by a thing that almost formed into a tropical storm over Florida, but I hate to take away too much of it, but we can see that there are things in areas where it's really never going to have a chance back in there that maybe would give me an opportunity. But I'm going to hold off this time just because I don't want to harm it. Okay, now I'm going to take you to a very special variety that a friend of mine gave me about 20 years ago. Planted it in my yard, propagated it, and it's a beauty. It's not easy to grow from a cutting, and this is the variety. It's actually become much more common in nurseries and so on, but it's spectacular. If you look at the size with these clippers, by the way, links to these in the description. They're my faves. Ching! All right. Yeah, if you look at it, of course the undercarriage growth is very shady. Now if we take a cutting that's not used to full sun and then pop it in, well, it's kind of partial sun in that corner where I've got it anyhow. All right, we're just gonna, you know what, fortune favors the bold, my friends. Let's just make a decision. Cutting this one, gotcha. And this shouldn't be this hard. Is there anybody else, you can tell me in the comments, is there anybody else who has to hesitate this much at making a decision of which shrub branch to cut? Is that some sign of problem? All right, here we go. There we go. Oh man. No, that's not a science fiction movie. That's an actual plant that exists on Earth, and you can have it in your yard. Hey, look at that cardboard plant. You like those things? I got a lot of videos on those. Cardboard plant is a big part of my life. Hey, I've heard they call this Monstera deliciosa the Swiss cheese plant, by the way. I was over at a friend's house, and his wife said, yeah, they call it, I got a Swiss cheese plant. And we walked over. It was a Monstera deliciosa. Alrighty. So to see what we have going on here. Okay, two varieties. The very large leafed variety in the very back of my yard, and then the much more common curly leafed variety. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and take the leaves off of these, prepare them to be planted, and what I'll do is I'll take not all the leaves off, but the bottom ones, just enough. You know, really the problem is these become also wind sails in the cutting situation, and that is what can tend to, here in this beach environment, cause it to spin. So we really got to take a lot of that plant growth off, and it'll do fine with less. I'm going to separate this one into three. I'm going to cut it maybe here, make one long one, and then I'll have two short ones. And then I'll just make the two here. Okay. So I want to point out one thing, and these branches are very brittle. Very brittle. They snap very easily. So if you're not careful, you'll do what I just did, which is I snapped one in half trying to break off these leaves. So you can see it really takes very little force. Just take your time, get most of those lower leaves taken off. Don't need to get crazy, and then you have the cutting. So you can see what the finished versions look like for both types, and then you can see, I'm going to get a little pile of leaves here. These aren't preferred for mulch, but they'll work. Just got to be careful how you remove these. They snap right off. You hear them popping. But that branch will pop the same way. Okay, that's about right. Okay, I got three of those. And now let's get a couple of these. Boy, these leaves are big. Alright. It's an odd one. Awkward for sure. But what the heck. And this one already is ready to go. It's got three leaves on it. So there you go. Three of these and three of these. Now, look at these. Colorful mulch. Rainbow mulch. Kidding me? Look at this. It's like a rainbow. Okay. Let's get to it. Very easy to plant this. Lay some down on here. I think I'll plant this type first. Okay, now we had planted this one and this one in the previous episode, so we're going to use these back two pots. I'm going to put it here so it can kind of lean and not be really in the direct wind. So I planted it pretty deep, you can see. I'm not planting it so deep that it touches the bottom of the pot, but it's close. It's about an inch in the bottom. Okay, oops, no, that's not the right variety. I almost mixed them. Okay. There we go. I'll pack it in just a little bit. We're trying to avoid the spinning in the wind, remember. Significant consideration living where I do. close to the ocean. Here we go, the last one. So I just place it in the spot right here. And now the idea is we plant 3. Now I didn't use any root tone. I didn't do anything other than what you saw in this video. I'm going to water these after this video. But that's it. And kind of just make a little bit of space, just like that. And put the other ones in. This will be his neighbor. Hopefully we'll get one of these sprouts to do our bidding. Now I took this longer one, right? This one was a Y, and then I cut it here, so I got a small cutting, but I'm going to use again this space to get it out of the wind. See, these are little hacks you learn over the years. Now I built this thing, by the way. Thanks for staying towards the end of the video. This is the bonus information that you were waiting for. I built this thing very simply. 4x4s as verticals, a 2x4 nailed in nicely across here as horizontals. Then I put a 2x4 across the front, and just fence posts, fence panels, fence, you know, the whatever, the panel slats, and just nailed them in on both sides. That's it. Holds the weight just fine, and I was able to get a huge capability going. You might come up with a better design. Probably already do have a better one. All right. And this is a big boy. Wow, look at this. What? Can't even get it in the shot. All right. This is the Zen art of croton cutting, planting. It's you got it at the moment you sense that it's right. You just got to plunge it into the dirt. So there we have it. 2 more varieties in the collection, folks. By the way, if you're not subscribed to Eat Your Backyard, please do. Please turn on notifications. That way you'll be notified as this series continues. I don't know when it will stop, but not anytime soon. We're getting into a great time of the year for growing plants in Florida. This is September, late September, and oh, look at that. I always like to break up the big kind of condensed chunks. This is a great time because it's getting less intensely hot, and that favors growing things because it's like a furnace in the summer. So middle of the summer, no bueno. This is the perfect time, and we've got a good, wow, 4 months of prime growing time, and we'll see what can grow. Can you imagine what these are going to look like in 4 months? You'll be able to look back through the whole thing. But also, maybe you pick some of these to grow, and you can find them in the links, or you can go to your local nursery, or you can ask a friend for a cutting. But however you do it, do it. Start your own fruit jungle. I did it 20 years ago. Well, I'm longer than that, actually. Look at how old I am. This backyard, just a reflection moment. This backyard was just grass, 1 navel orange tree in the middle. Yeah, 1 navel orange tree in the middle, 1 elm tree, 1 small winged elm tree here, which, if you know what those are, there was a little bit of something off the deck here, a bougainvillea, and that was it. And so yeah, it's changed a bit over the years. Now it is nearly 100% edible fruit jungle. That's the goal. Like, I just thought, why not make a canopy forest that can be edible year-round, where 100% of the time there's something to eat. Like, any time of the year I can go and find something to eat. Right now I can say, all right, let's walk here, and now I'm eating fruit. Just like that. I'm going to dust it off. That's a good one. All right, so thanks for watching Eat Your Backyard. Please subscribe. See you soon. And by the way, go check out my new YouTube channel, OneStepNow. I have all kinds of really cool high-definition drone meditation videos. Start your fruit jungle today.